All right, Ezra, we are 3 minutes past the hour here, so I think that's as good a time as any. You ready to kick her off?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Wee! All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome for the second episode of our weekly Fantasy Top show, Fantasy Top Down, where your hosts Ezra and I are gonna take a look back at all things from the previous week of fantasy, leading in next week, and maybe even rip some reward packs here. So, Ezra, how you doing today, big dog?
Yeah, good, good, good. It's been a quite nice, interesting load of news for fantasy today. I like a week where we get new heroes. We don't get it very
Yeah.
often, but when we do, it's kind of fun.
It is, right? Always, kind of brings in a couple elements we talked about last week where, the game is fluid, it's dynamic, it's always changing, with new heroes coming in, old ones getting booted out. We lost or, are poised to lose about seven of our pre-existing heroes. So all those cards are going to get replaced. And yeah, just it adds, a really exciting dynamic to the marketplace. So on that note, did you crack any packs this morning, or you do any buy-in to try and get any of those heroes, or how did your morning go?
Yes, I decided that it was a bit of a thesis that I think both of us had it in our minds that there seemed to be this key point where the new heroes are launched. And then I managed to check the metadata. They've got a field in the metadata which is called, let me just double check this. It is called can be packed. And I was waiting for can be packed to be true on the new heroes, meaning they would now be in the packs. And so we just had this idea where if you were going to open packs, it's probably a good time to do it just as these heroes are launched, but before the rewards, because they've got inflation scores. So I guess the idea would be some of the newer ones have a better chance of coming out in those packs before everyone else starts minting them through the rewards. And I did notice this back when we got the last heroes. Someone pulled a Mitch pretty early on. So yeah, it was quite funny actually because um, Silva and I were talking about it, and then we went pack buying, and I noticed at the same time in the little activity feed we have some of the fantasy hero devs. Sorry, fantasy top devs were minting as well. I saw Kippet and the Telegram moderator as well. So yeah, we did,
Yeah,
and I managed to pull a rare of one of the new heroes, so that was pretty good.
let's go. Do you wanna fire up your screen share real quick there and show off what you got? Because it wasn't just a 2 or a 3 star hero; it was a pretty notable one, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would say very early days. You never know how these people are going to go, but yeah, I was certainly pretty excited. That's the wrong screen. Is that the wrong screen?
Oh, mine is still loading. Yeah, this I see your Discord screen right here.
Oh, I do this every time. Um, okay, let me try again. Share your screen applications. This. You should see the spinning packs.
Oh,
Yeah.
now we are cooking.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I noticed there's this little feed of people who are buying packs. I noticed a couple of the other people in there, but yeah, the one I got was this rare chart fu magic. So uh, this was mine. This little one rare.
The single rare in the entire by none other than Ezrin. So big GG there, bro.
I would say pretty good. Uh, I don't know very much about this guy, but I mean the common card is trading at 0.07 ish. If they are actually selling, let me check. Yeah, there's a couple. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was a pretty good win. So I think I bought 4 packs. So this guy will pay for those packs. Um, and amongst other things, there was a few other, the usual. You tend to get like one or two good cards in every pack. One is the more common one, two being pretty rare, and then you're into the fluff, the 2 stars. So yeah, I was pretty
Yes,
happy with
sir.
that. Yeah, and in terms of the well, yeah, that was what I got. I was just gonna say, should we move into how we did on the tournament?
Yeah, I think so. So that was just a quick little preview of one of the new heroes that got uploaded today. Like Ezrin said, I don't really have a read on many of them either, outside of Trader Main. I know he's a pretty huge account as far as TA and just price action and kind of making calls like that on the timeline. So Trader Main could be a decent card, but otherwise, yeah, let's look into last week's performances and see how we did, and maybe even crack some reward packs. So since you're already sharing your screen, I'm going to let you dive on into it. How'd you do last week?
Yeah, I did pretty good. I think I ended up 25 cards and
Woo,
0.06 ETH across all my lines. So I was pretty sad. I
not
mean,
bad.
yeah, I managed to capitalize on Farouk. Um, but yeah, I had a couple of elite lines here which did pretty well in the money. 4 cards each. These two I expected to do better, but I was kind of let down by Jay here.
So
And
and so close to being on the bubble there, since it pays
I
out in the
know,
top 800. God, that's a close one. Sorry, man.
yeah, 800's the cutoff for rewards, so I was 860 and 960. Yeah, and then STO as well. I kind of went with high stars. This was like a last minute change, but in the
Mhm.
end, burnt me. Why player not found? Oh, we're in this mess. Till you claim the rewards, things break. Gold. Yeah, this was I think where I did all right as well. I managed to get 2 in the money there. I would
Ace.
say I got lucky because like some of these were trash, like in comparison.
Wow.
I don't
Hey, man,
know.
put those drags in a lineup, and you never know what it's gonna. I mean,
You
popping out a
don't
card or two or three is worth it, man.
exactly. Silver's where I did the best. Silver, I
Oh
was
my
getting
lord.
yeah, I managed to get I mean, top 10. You get like a lot more, so that was a bit of a just a. This was my Farouk line. I noticed a lot of people did a before the stars updated. I think Web3 Quant was my letdown here. I should have probably dropped him, and there was a few other cards which seemed to do a bit better. Um, and then yeah, I managed to get a bunch of these into the one card, one card, one card, one card, one card. So that added up nicely to a nice amount of cards there. And then bronze, I did appalling, absolutely appalling. Like
Well, I mean, considering a 13th place finish in silver, you're not going to do much better than that in any league. I mean, that's an
I just
incredible job, man.
I just find bronze so hard now. Like
It is.
I I feel like it is unless it's a week where there's somebody who's just a standout low starring hero who you expect to just rip, it is just a free for all.
Yep.
Like I ended up doing so bad in bronze. But yeah, that's where we landed. So I was pretty happy overall. 25 cards and 0.06 ETH. So yeah, we can go through these if you like, see what we get.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's take it to the pack openings. And just for anyone a little on the newer side, or who might just be kind of tuning into all this, Ezrin, for his rewards across all his tournaments, he said he got 0.06 ETH and about 25 cards. And even if you assume a very extremely conservative floor of 0.005 on all those cards, which really is lower than what you'll see in the marketplace. I mean, that's still 0.125 ETH from cards alone if he just floored and accepted bids. So he's looking at a payday of 0.18 to zero point 0.2 ETH of rewards from 1 week. So, just kind of showcasing that even if you're not winning direct ETH from these competitions, or getting card rewards is just as lucrative.
Yeah, absolutely. And I even think your estimation there is quite low because most of the stuff goes for at least 0.006 6.3, 6.4, even if you were to accept offers.
Exactly. I mean, and that doesn't even, look into the upside of hitting a decent common or one of those, rare or epic or legendary cards. So really, that is the lowest floor you might get. So yeah,
Yeah,
excited here, bro. Come on, let's see some more rares.
let's do it. I actually took your advice and muted. Um, one card, a Lipify. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, okay. At
Look,
some
it could
point
have been a
today,
Pentoshi.
yeah, that would have been good, but yeah. At some point, we will talk about what makes a good card and a bad card a bad card. So yeah, we can maybe have a quick run through that. But at the minute, I'll just quickly fly through these. We'll
I'm
do
gonna fly
the.
through 14 cards, he says.
we'll go for the small packs and then into the big packs.
Come on, let's see some blue or some purple.
Oh, you're kidding me on. I'm just gonna get
Or
Lipify
more
after
Lupify.
Lipify. Okay.
Okay.
I think I actually needed one of them to get a rare. I think I had 4 at the minute, so I'll take that.
Oh, the rich get richer, eh?
Don't don't think that makes you rich if you've got a bunch of those. Right, here we go. My elites. Surely you get elite rewards for elite
I mean,
cards,
you
right?
have to. It's in the name.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, baby. Come on. 8 cards. Let's see some
Lipify.
winners.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
coffee.
Okay, so they're all green, so that's not great, but here we go. Bad. Oh,
Ooh.
oh, I
Uh,
don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like what I'm seeing. Oh, a Gwar. Okay, I'll
Ooh.
take that. I'll take that.
There we go.
Oh,
Boom.
oh.
Dear Lord. Kofi
Okay.
Maxi over there.
Oh my god. I like Guru. He's woken up. His
Mhm.
little quick hint. He's on my to watch list.
Ooh, interesting. And just looking
So
right now, the floor on that Guart card is 0.056 with a top bid at 0.05. So, I mean, there you go. That's a 0.05 reward essentially that you just unpacked.
take it. It's nearly as much as the ETH that I just earned. So happy with that.
Exactly, man. You love to see it.
Okay, here we go. This is the big pile. I
Big
need to know.
dogs.
It's going to be Lipifies and Kofi's. Let's do
Hey,
it.
those are both important parts of a balanced breakfast.
Oh, got a blue at the back.
Ooh, let's
Oh, that's
go. Come
exciting.
on,
So you can
baby.
see that means we're gonna get a rare, which I don't know if
Let's
I've ever
go.
pulled like a rare, but anyway, 2-star hero. Let's fly through these. Okay. Oh yes, I'll take a KMV.
Ooh,
That's sick. You
he's
can you
cooking.
can you can run the numbers in the background there.
Yes, sir. Happily.
Okay. No,
Nice.
thank you. No, thank you.
Uh,
I'll take it in Twitter.
Decent.
Quite into it. Yeah, Mod no, Wang no, Cozy no. Yes. Oh,
Gem.
Jim. I'll take a Jim.
Well,
Ah.
decent. Wow. Wow.
That is fire. That is
That
fire. So if anyone who didn't tune in last week, this is my sleeper card. So Pentoshi's not going to come back until the next Bitcoin all-time high. So I'm just slowly stacking the Pentoshis.
but when he does, I mean, he's gonna immediately be a 7-star card. I mean, he's got hundreds of thousands of followers, like I think 700 or 800K maybe. So
As if he doesn't get voted out before then, because everyone's tired
yeah,
of waiting.
that's
Yeah.
true. But that Nove card at the top, that KNV floor of 0.065 thereabouts with a bid right underneath it. So again, more
Nice.
that was more than the ETH rewards you got from all of your lineups in one card.
Nice. And then Jim. I think Jim's decent as well.
Yeah, let's take a look real quick. The Jim Common is a 0.023, so a little bit less.
Okay, I see decent as in more than your 0.00s.
That is true. That is true. And even that Pentoshi, even if you can't play it, that rare, just the universal rare floor is around 0.04 ish. So I mean that's another card you could sell into bids right now. And I mean your packs alone are worth what 0.25, maybe a little bit more, 0.3. So GG
Yeah.
man, that was a great one.
Yeah, there you go. So they are actually down at the 0.006 range.
Mhm.
Interesting. At this point in this is because everyone's dumping their commons that they got from their rewards. I quite like picking up a load of these for the burn. I find that quite a good price to be burning some cards from.
Agreed.
Um,
I usually throw out some stink bids right around there, 0.0001 above the next person, and I'll hit
mm,
on a couple and come back the next day and just kind of burn them all.
yeah, absolutely. Well, there we go. There we go. I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. Um,
Nice job. Nice job, man.
I'll switch it back over to you. See what you get.
Well, now that you took all the luck in the room with your second rare pull of the day, I don't even know why I'm about to try, but here we go. All right. So quickly, just gonna look back through my week this past week in competitions. My bronzes, I had a horde of them here, maybe 7 or 8 were uninspiring. I had one that did okay, finished 181, mainly because I had a common Farouk in there that scored in first place. So, you know, that'll happen one out of every 20 tournaments that you actually get the number one hero. But when you do, it's a nice little cheat code for moving up the ranks.
That was such
So not
a great play for anyone who got in there early on that. As soon as that was announced, I think it was just after this show.
It was. It was. I mean, it was within the hour. I think it would have been the perfect little talking point for us to preview, but it didn't quite work out timing wise.
But that's cool though. Congrats on that.
Thanks, mate. Thanks. Zero point zero 0.01 ETH and 3 card rewards here. This is the one though. I feel like we talked about it a little, and I knew this was going to happen in silver. Finished 273 with one of my cards on a 0 score.
Oh damn!
Yeah, that bandit for anyone who wasn't, paying attention, bandit lost access to their account. They were kind of like shadow banned, so they were tweeting from an alt. They actually got back in today, so they will be back for next week's main tournament, and they are going to be one of my ones to watch for next week because they got downgraded all the way to a 2-star. But had he been anywhere near even his average, I would have been looking at like a top 15, top 20 finish. So that's a little disappointing because I do feel like I kind of nailed the rest of it here with the commons and the rares being all over the place in stars. But that's just the way it shakes out sometimes.
Yeah, for sure, and definitely Bandit is going to be top of every low star tournament coming up
Yep,
for sure.
I mean, a 2-star who will easily score in the top 50 range. It just like Lil Moon Lambo was a 2-star and was basically necessary to be in any of these competitive decks. That's going to be
Mhm.
Bandit for next week. I feel like.
Yeah, yeah. If anyone's thinking about getting any card for next week to compete in any of the lower leagues, that's the one to get for sure.
Yes, sir. Yep. Smart man. So yeah, a little disappointing finish there, but still got zero point zero 0.01 and a pack out of it.
It was
Moving
worth
over to
the risk though
gold.
as well. Like you never knew when he
Yeah,
was going to get his account back, so yeah.
exactly. And I thought to myself, even if he only gets it for 1 or 2 days here at the end, that would it still made the gamble worth it for me, right? And I didn't leave empty-handed. Still got one card. Still got zero point zero 0.01. So I'll chalk it up as a win, and come back to the drawing board next week.
Yeah, for sure.
Gold threw in 2 lineups here. One of them got a min cash of 1 card, and the other one a little bit further up with 2 cards. So those were pretty decent. Again, a 345 finish in gold with a 0 point bandit rare. I mean, you never want to live in the past or the woulda, coulda, shoulda. But if I just move things around a little bit, I could have had a top 20, top 30 gold or silver lineup moving like Cyrus around or it just kind of proves that the methodology, the what we're doing is kind of working. Just 1 or 2 moves away from really, really hitting the big one.
Yeah, for sure.
So
There's
three
good though.
cards
The
there.
fact that you still got cards is insane.
I mean, yeah, like that's it kind of it's something I really learned paying attention with Rainmakers. So really shout out to all the legends in that chat: JJ, Poopaloop, Jake and Bake, uh, Relic, Jinzo. I mean, there's so many people that were constantly cooking down there, and just seeing lineups that were really strong, high points finishes, made them a lot of money. But if they'd made one, maybe two slight adjustments, it's the difference between winning the whole thing, right? So really taking a lot of that DFS kind of methodology into really, I mean, that's what this is, right? It's DFS for Twitter influencers. So I do think a lot of those skills are directly transferable for anyone in here who might be listening and think and kind of be on the fence about getting in. And then we come to the elites, where I had two lineups. One was just kind of a trash throw in, random commons, and then a terrible legendary that I have. And my other one was, I believe, actually my highest points finish that I've had in a tournament, just
Wow.
shy of 7,500. Yeah, was
First
pretty happy with
page.
this.
That's awesome.
A first page finish.
Absolute
That,
fire.
yeah, appreciate that, man. Doesn't really get me a whole lot more rewards being on the first page from the second page, considering the bracket I was in, but happy regardless. 0.075 ETH, 6 cards, so I think that brings my total winnings from this week up to 0.095 ETH, and then 6, 9, and 13 cards. So close to, I think my all-time high for cards in 1 week is 14. So right around there again. So ultimately pretty happy. Can't complain with any of this.
Very good.
So without that, let's get to the exciting part, the part that everyone wants to see. Flaming fan points. JK. Let me get through all the trash here. Some fan.
You
There's
got a
some
load
snow.
of fan points for your elite deck as well.
Yeah, that is the nice thing, right? Besides the ETH, besides the cards, I mean, that made up 60% of all of the fan points I'll get from this past week. So,
You've hit a milli as well.
oh yeah, oh yeah. What are you at 2 million yet?
I'm at 2 now, but you're creeping up.
Yeah, 53,000 fan points from
That is
one
good.
lineup is
Yeah, really good.
pretty good, man. All right. Without further ado, let's hop into it. Let's claim some cards.
Nice.
Right, claim. Just one rare. That's all I ask. One rare.
Don't ask for a
Those
rare,
are
just ask for a good card. Because if you get a crap rare, yeah, 1.5 times 0 is still 0. Let's do it.
That's a good point. All right, here we go. The appetizer, getting us warmed up. One card, baby. Come on. All right,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, for all you parallel fans.
Starting off strong with a 2-star. You love to see it. Not.
Just think of the money when you sell
I
it.
think think of the burns when I burn it in 5 minutes. All right. Claiming a little bit more here. 3 cards. Come on. Can't be any worse, right? Can't be any worse than
Well,
old
at least
parallel rev.
you'll get 2 extra.
Oh, that's why we have you here, Ezra, and that sunny optimism you're known for.
Quick math.
All right.
Okay,
Okay.
new hero.
Let's
That is
go.
good. Okay, nice, nice, nice. And it's
We'll
got that
take a
Pokemon
trader
vibe.
main. I
You
know,
know,
right? Not really sure what he is exactly, but I will take a 4-star trader main, one of our new heroes.
Arceus
God motherfucker.
for all you
Nice to see
parallel
you again.
fans.
God damn it. Ooh, and a
Yes, decent.
Chumba.
Okay, 2
I'm
fours.
not,
I'll take
yeah,
that.
I might just stop here, as I don't. I'm not even going to open the rest of them. I mean, I'm not going to do better than this. Truly,
That's good.
it
I think if
sure
you get
is.
anything that you might use, you're happy with that. You know.
Absolutely. Chumba Wumba floor is only at 0.013. Not terrible. Trader main at 0.033, so nice. About 0.04, 0.05 in rewards just from that one pack. Slowly but surely clawing back that ETH. Another 3-packer right here. Come on. Let's see something good. Let's see something good. That is
Oh,
just quite the opposite of something good, but that's fine. Still not quite something good. One more card. One more
this
card.
one though.
God.
Oh, For all you Simpsons fans. Yeah.
Oh my
No,
god, yeah.
that's no good. That's no good.
That's going straight to the burn at the end of this episode. I can tell
That's
you
the
that
florist of
right now.
floor. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, one more
Here
claim.
we go.
6 cards. Like you said, the elite cards have to come from the elite pack, right?
Yeah. This is where you get your rare Pintoshis. This is where they hide them.
The big bucks. All right. Gonna need all the luck from chat. Come on, chat. Spam me with
Feel it.
luck.
There we go. Yes!
Oh, all green.
Great start. For you know,
OSF.
for a nice mid card. I love mid.
Absolutely, absolutely. Usable, right? 4 stars are definitely usable.
Yes. That's a bronze deck. That's terrible. Okay.
Loom
Keep
Dart
going.
is not. Okay.
McKenna.
Decent, usable.
Jeebus. Believe is having a comeback.
Really? Okay. I've never actually owned a Jeebus card, so I haven't kept up with them too much.
Basically went from last contest went from 0 to like actually tweeting. So
Mm.
on the up.
All right. I'll take it. Oh, hey, I'm in the Loopify Club. All right, last one. Come on. Oh, son of a bitch.
Grim Reaper to finish
All
off.
right. Okay.
Okay.
Not
I'd
great.
say
Not
overall.
horrible.
Yeah, I'd say overall that was decent.
Agreed. Wasn't my best pulls, but I'll take the Trader Main. I'll take the Chumbawamba. Those are definitely going to go into some usable bronze decks for this next tournament.
Yeah. So yeah, one of the things that we got told last week or asked last week quite a few times is like, why is that a bad card? How do you pick a good card? I don't know if you want to spend a little bit of time just going and showing maybe how you would class somebody as a good or a bad card.
Yeah,
When building
absolutely.
it.
I'll spend a minute or two here, just giving a little bit of my thinking through it, and then would love to throw it back to you to get your thoughts. But really, when I look for a good versus a bad card, I'll start down here with I'll say an intern actually, because I think that's an interesting case. You see, 2 stars. So for whatever reason, if you're again new to fantasy, there is no 1 star card. I cannot think of why they started with the lowest tier being 2, but it just is. So those are the worst cards you can get. I would have made it a 1 star, but what do I know? Guess I'm not a dev. So intern for me is a fairly good card, because if we go into it, click through his stats, toggle onto his tournament rank, you can see he is all over the place, right? He's had some top 20 finishes, 21, 21, 38, 50, 47. So really, he has the potential to be a top 50 hero. Also, you can see down here 162, 161, 168. So Intern is definitely an inconsistent card, but has that upside, right? So for me, this isn't just a standard great card, but it is one I'll never burn an Intern because they have that upside, right? They can hit a top 50 kind of play. And you just have to be ready for when they might not tweet at all, which is when you get these zeros scored, which you're seeing here. And a lot of that stuff is dependent on what they're doing, right? I think he kind of stated he was at token 2049 this past week. So a lot of people had some 0 scores or dropped down to 2 or 3 stars, and that was pretty expected. So coming home, being back in front of a computer this next week, I expect Intern to kind of rocket back up and hopefully be between 50 to 100, and costing only 2 stars. I mean, that's a great price in my mind. Versus, if you come over to say Rev, same thing. We're going to go to stats and tournament rank. Rev, yeah, he has 1 finish in the top 20, but if you look, that is clearly the outlier here. Usually he is a below 100 hero. I mean, he's in the bottom 2, 3 stars all the time, finishing 133, 140, 133, 142, 161. So this is what the kind of chart that I see for a card bad, right? He'll still score, sometimes might even give you a little bit of upside into, 120 or a 75 score. But really, for the most part, you see just looking at their historic kind of trend, it's been down only for the most part. It is scoring in, below rank 100. It's just not what I would consider as consistent or really worth playing, which is why anytime I get a rev, he goes straight to the burn for something better.
Yeah. And if you just keep that
Yeah.
open 1 second as well,
Yes, sir.
I think the other two things that you got to remember is, so you've obviously, for bronze, you've got to find your best 5 cards adding up to 18 stars. So you need to start considering lower stars, and so you then need to start considering what are the best cards you can get in those lower star ratings. So that's why you always have to consider 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, because you can only do a certain amount of lineups that add up to 18, right? So,
Yep.
and then on that chart as well, I would say the other thing to think about is they actually changed the algorithm in July. So I tend to ignore the left-hand side of the chart and only go on the right-hand side.
Yes,
So the
sir. That is a
right-hand
great data
side,
point.
yeah, the right-hand side is the more recent activity after they switched up how they actually calculate scores. So I would say both of those things are kind of the two reasons why I would say that's a good card or a bad card.
Yep, 100%. That is great context there. Like Ezrin said, they kind of they slightly tweak and tune the algorithm kind of as they go every couple of months, try and make it a bit more accurate with scoring. So, Ezrin spot on saying the last change occurred sometime down here in July. You can kind of see '07. So it was sometime in here they changed it. And really, again, outside of the one popping up to 75, he's been below 130 the entire time. So yeah, not exactly a strong card for me. Ezra, do you want to switch over and share your screen for any examples you'd want to show, or you think we're pretty tidied up there?
I think that's good. I was going to say maybe just pick like a consistent, so like maybe like a
Mm.
consistent 5-star or something. So maybe someone like me or him.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, I'll show a 5 or 6 star right after this, but I would say this is probably the most consistent hero in my deck is base 16Z. And I mean, you see a lot of these swings up and down, but if you look at the ranks, he's swinging between really like 20 and 5. I mean, he's within those 15 ranks every single tournament since fantasy began, hitting as high as rank 4, rank 5 a couple times, and really his lowest was 21 and then 17 in the most recent tournament. But normally he's pretty much a perennial top 10 hero. And so, the chart might look a little bit like, oh, well, he's up and he's down. But if you make sure, you're looking at that left hand, your Y axis there, what is the rank? Oh, between 5 and 20. So super consistent here. And another one that Ezra shouted out, me, very, very similar. Has a couple where I think he might have gone on vacation or on holiday down here. But if you take out those lower outliers, you'll see really he's a top 50 hero pretty consistently. Even more recently, going as high as a top 20, top 15 hero. So, in my opinion, consistency is key. If you can get him to be consistent to the high end, even better. But I mean, hopefully you saw it with some of my lineups. You just don't want to be getting those 0 scores because they really take what could be a top 15, top 20 lineup and they bring it down into the hundreds. So decent, consistent scoring is pretty much the name of the game here.
yeah, exactly. And then the only alternative to that would just be like buy the news. So if you know, for example, that a particular card is extremely strong, but it's going to be dropping to a 2-star, like we're going to actually get into our kind of picks, aren't we? Maybe.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a perfect segue. You want to? Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
we
throw it
can
over
do
to you.
that.
You want to? Yeah, I'll seed it over to you. Let me hear. Who are you looking at this week? Coming into the next slate of main tournaments here. Who you got your eye on? Anyone you're thinking of picking up or selling out of? What do you got?
Yeah. Okay, so I do have a couple. For me, the ones that I am looking to try and sell out of are Farouk. So
Mm.
Farouk, obviously, I bought the news last week. This was somebody who obviously had the Trump interview. So I was actually quite lucky. I managed to the rare for 0.04 last week. I then managed to use them throughout this week and hoping to sell into, so I could just sell right now into 0.06 if I wanted. So I'll be dropping my Farouk bag. And picking up, I am going to be picking up, for me, why does this work for you but not me?
Do you have bandits in your portfolio?
Yeah, somewhere down the
uh,
bottom.
oh, there he is, right below
Where?
Gleb.
Right below Gleb. There you go. Oh, he changed his picture. Yeah, so
Yeah,
Bandit. So if we look at Bandit stats, this
womp
big
womp.
drop off. This was the drop off due to him being shadow banned type thing on X, where his account looked fine but he couldn't post. That has now been lifted. But because of his scoring last tournament being 0, then he's down at a 2-star. So, in my opinion, this is going to be key to most of the tournaments coming up. I think all apart from Elite, really. Anywhere that
Yeah,
stars matter, um, you're going to probably find a lot of people paying over the odds for. So if you look at maybe the cost of commons here, so where are we? 19th. So yeah, you can see between the last couple of days and today, we're already seeing 0.02 price increase on his card. So we're probably going to see a lot of people playing Bandit in bronze, silver, and then probably gold as well, depending on how good their decks are. So yeah, Bandit is one of my picks for this week. I mean, not financial advice, but I still think even at these prices, I don't think they've inflated that much. Once people realize closer to lock that this is going to be the case, I think you're going to
yep,
see a supply shock even at 0.06, and I'd say we're going to see this rise again by at least 0.01 before lock.
yeah.
And
I
then
I
no
tend
doubt
to
it'll be
agree.
farm, and we'll see this 2-star turn into a 5, 6, 7. Maybe not
Yep.
7, but in the coming days. The other one I've got my eye on is, where is he? Guru, who's someone that I kind of faded for a little while, to be honest. I had used, and then they kind of fell off. You can see
Okay.
where they fell off here. So Guru was always a cheap hero to get. I ended up minting a couple through packs and playing them in decks, and they always did pretty decent, inconsistent perhaps, but they were kind of a half decent like filler card. Just because of the price and the fact that they've become more active again. And I actually did see them post something about you spend the entire summer hyper gambling on dog shit. Blah blah blah. Was that even the right tweet? There was a tweet. There was a tweet where he was basically saying, like, it was a tweet where he was saying, "Yeah, there you go, clocked out all summer. I'm so fucking back. It's time to win." So I saw this 6 hours ago and thought, okay, let's
That is key.
yeah. So between this and then obviously starting tweeting again, that is my second pick for a card that was dormant that you might be able to pick up cheap, which you might see a decent amount of activity from.
Amazing. I love that, man. I have a couple gurus myself, and I saw that he had ticked up his activity this week, but didn't know why. So, you kind of pointing out him saying he's back from basically summer vacation. That, I mean, that's great news for me. That's the kind of stuff I need to see to A, not sell him, or B, burn him. So it's really, I mean, it's those information, just being willing to go out there and check their Twitter and see who's active, who's not, why are people back, and why are they scoring the way they are. I mean, it's perfect. So yeah, that's alpha right there from 6 hours ago, and I'm absolutely going to be using that to influence where I go with my decks.
No problem. Yeah. Do you want me to pull up anybody here and you can talk through it, or do you want me to share switchback?
No. I like this. Yeah, just keep on sharing. I'll give you some of my picks. Appreciate that.
I think it's a bit
I had a
easier, isn't it?
couple. Yeah, I think so. I had a couple here as well. Bandit was definitely one of them for the same reasons you said. Going down
Hmm.
to a 2 star, they're going to be the pick of the week, right? You hit the nail on the head. I think anyone compete really trying to nail the top spot in gold, silver, bronze, they're going to need a Bandit card in there. 2 stars, the potential to really score 800 plus points. That's, I mean, that you have to have
That's
that if you
insane.
want to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. So I won't stick on Bandit anymore. Love the little rundown you gave there. Another one I really like, for the exact same reasoning, is Luca. So Luca Nets,
Oh yeah.
Pudgy Penguins founder. Of course, you would already have. Oh no, you're
These
in the
aren't mine.
marketplace. I thought those were
Ah,
yours.
no, 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 no.
But same reasoning, right? If you look at some of Luca's history, you see there he
Mm,
is generally a decently performing card. And just cratered this
that's
week because again,
unbelievable.
yep, he was at token 2049. I think he got a 0 score. I don't think he tweeted one time. Um, so I don't think, because he's 3 stars instead of two, he probably won't be quite as valuable as Bandit, but he's definitely going to go back up into the at least over rank 100, maybe even closer to 50. So I will likely be trying to pick up either a common or a rare Luca to throw somewhere in there, just in the star cap comps.
Yeah, I mean that would be. I mean, what a great start to any deck would be like spending 5 cards on 2 heroes that are definitely going to be in the top 50.
Yep. I mean, I honestly, I think that is a great backbone, regardless of where you're sitting and you want commons, rares, epics, whatever. I think Luca and Bandit together, that's, you're costing yourself 5 stars out of your cap, and you're getting really, really a ton of upside there. So I think that's probably the best alpha you or I could give this entire week.
Yeah, that's very very cool. I never realized he was as low as that now.
Yep. I'm literally making a note, like, in my little notebook right now, to make sure I put Luca and Bandit in my lineups together. Yeah, so Luca, again, very similar to Bandit. And then another one who, different bit of reasoning, so not on the 0 score kind of train like those two, is World, WRLD.
Hmm.
There we go. So World, I think he just changed his profile picture. It was always like the dog with hat dog.
Yeah.
Um, but if you see, I mean, early on, right, he was a top 20 hero.
Hmm.
Then we kind of entered, and if for anyone unfamiliar, he's a memer, shit poster, troll, and also kind of, posts funny stuff about coins and that kind of thing. So for the last couple of months, he's really been not tweeting a whole lot. And I think that's kind of gone in. He was a 2 or a 3 star for a while. But I really think where you see him right now is closer to what his actual value, a 4 to 6 star who can score you anywhere from 5 to 700 points. And I don't really think his price has adjusted to that. So, I mean, his price right now is, his common is what, 0.023, something like that, 0.022.
That's very good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I have one or two, so I'm likely going to be picking up an extra one or two and trying to upgrade that into a rare or something else. But I do, and I've been monitoring him on Twitter. His posting has gone up from 0 or maybe one a day to 2, 3, 4, 5 tweets a day during this last tournament. So I think as long as, and God willing, knock on wood, fingers crossed, whatever, God willing, we don't nuke back to 0 again on the majors. I think he's going to be back, sticking around, posting, and I do think whether you want to play him this week, because 5 stars, it's a bit of a premium there, or just hold to maybe flip into, make zero point zero 0.01, 0.02 in a week or two. I think World is definitely another interesting candidate there.
Yeah, that's really good. What I tend to do as well, if I'm thinking, okay, should I, shouldn't I? What's the value between 4 and 6 stars? I'll probably just like clear this out
Mm.
and then say, okay, if I was to look at commons between 4 and 6 stars, like where do they likely fit in?
Mhm.
And then obviously if you want to go to, was he was 5 stars, right?
Yeah, he was 5.
Okay, so I mean even in the five,
I mean, he's half or, one third cheaper than a lot of those pre-existing 5 stars at the top there.
Yeah, exactly. Like once you get from the 500 to this, I mean, once you hit this line, it's basically point 0.4 up.
Yeah, and as good as a lot of those heroes are, right in that line above it, Zusu, Iced, Easy, Shapiro. I don't think they're twice as good, right? Even though they cost twice as much. So that's kind of my mental maths.
Yeah, good shout. I like it.
Yep. So a note for the crowd: you better go buy up the World Common Floor before I do, right after this show.
Nice. No, those are
But yeah,
great. I
those
think
are.
I was going to say
No,
one
sorry.
other
Go ahead.
one that I thought was, which I noticed another tweet about, which interested me was someone to get rid of was KBM.
How come?
So he tweeted something. I saw somebody basically saying to him, "How come you're not doing more for your fantasy holders?" And he said this isn't really his market. He says he doesn't really like the state of the market at the moment, so he's probably not going to be doing very much.
Got it. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, if a hero comes out and tells you they're not going to tweet, there's no point in you saving them in your deck, wishing and praying for them to, right? I mean, this is
Yeah,
an active game. Get them out of there and reuse the funds for something better.
yeah. I mean, you can see how stagnant even the sales are.
Yep.
There we go. Okay, cool. What's next?
I love that. Yeah, a couple of early looks into next week. Um, I know, we had a little bit of chatter in our focus discussion about maybe looking into portfolio and giving a couple pointers there. So I know our, good friend and longtime MVHQ OG, enormous James, kind of had his hopes on us looking into his. James, are you around? You want to come up here and walk us through your portfolio real quick?
Yeah, how's it going, fellas? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yeah.
GMGM.
Beautiful. Thanks for having me on. Learn a lot listening to you guys kind of banter back and forth and trying to come up with my own strategy here. So appreciate the time.
Man, no, thank you. We're, happy to do this. Like, just as well as us, we've got a pretty lively crew going through, everything going on in fantasy. So happy to have you here and looking at how we can really take what you've got and move it to the next level with you.
Yeah, so I guess a quick background. The reason I've been with MVHQ for so long is that there's so many people that are involved in different niches. You guys are clearly dominating fantasy game. I've been focusing a little bit more on Pirate Nation for the past month or two. And so I've let my fantasy game slip into the quagmire of not placing as well as I'd like it to. And so I come seeking some advice here, just some thoughts, because I accumulated a lot of cards, kind of in the early months, and I don't think I've been as disciplined in either burning or selling some of the underperforming ones as I should have. Um, so I guess my question is, I've got a couple of decent cards, but not enough to form, a number of good lineups that'll place consistently. So I think I need to cut some of the dead weight and redeploy some of those assets into some of the bangers. Maybe some of the ones that you guys talked about, or some of the ones that are a little bit more consistent and able to get me across the pack finish line on some of these results. So that's where I'm at. NFA as always, but I'm looking to make some changes to this kind of 100 card stew that doesn't taste very good right now.
I love that. No, I think you've got a really good amount of cards. One of the first things that I was thinking when I was having a look was there's probably like 25 to 30 cards in here, which I would put up for sale to get you a decent bankroll. And for me, that would be your hero Tom, your 5 Kofis. Basically, all of these, apart from I would keep intern. That was one which we talked about, and I would probably keep Matchy as well, just as low stars to build up a bronze deck. I'll keep Jeebus, but most of these other ones up to probably Kane here, I would probably put them up for sale between like at 0.007 to 0.008, and that would get you straight away. If we go with 007 times what 25, I think I said, that would get you 0.175 ETH back to spend on something else. And you will probably find that they will sell between now and the next couple of days.
In your thought process there of trying to sell rather than burn or
it's a recent thing for me, to be very honest. Up until last week, I would just say burn it all, but I just had so much bad luck with it that I just think, you know what? I'm burning quite a bit of ETH here, like a decent amount of ETH
Right.
that I could probably just take back and buy something half decent instead of gambling with it. So if you'd asked me a week ago, I would have said, yeah, just burn these. But now I think just list them at that 0.007 point and just take the ETH. And if you can wait to put it towards some new cards, which you've got loads, like you've got 100 odd cards, so you're probably quite okay there. And then spend that 0.175 on something which you could consistently use every week. That would be my first point.
I'm going to hop on that advice from Ezrin and agree wholeheartedly. I think having that 0.175, maybe even as high as 0.2, if you decide to get rid of like that Kofi rare, I think that's a great starting point for your bankroll. Ezrin, could you scroll up for just a second to the top?
Yeah. Let me go to the top.
And depending on where, James, you're trying to play, I would also probably get rid of that Epic Alex. Unless you're trying to really play in the gold or elite contests, right? You can't play that guy down into silver or bronze. So I think the elite floor is like near 0.1 thereabouts. So if you get rid of it at floor on top of your other ones down near the bottom, you're looking at nearly 0.3 ETH you could recoup to really kind of build out some really stellar bronze decks or even a couple strong silver decks with some rares here and there if you'd want.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question is, when I try to think about building better decks, like let's say I'm trying to target, I don't know, three or four or five decent decks. I hear you guys saying, that bronze is really a slugfest because there's just so many entries and, any of these cards with such a low star limit could really pop off and either make or break you. Do you think it's better to target silver because then you're able to use some of the rare cards rather than only commons, or how do you think about that?
I mean, I am a massive fan of silver. I love playing like heroes that consistently score in the 40, like rank sort of 30, 40, 50, 60. And so I tend to try and get rares of those because they're quite cheap, and then run loads of decks in silver. I just like the fact that it's not as much of a slugfest, and you could use you can use your commons, you can use your hat, you get more stars to play with. You also get the fact that you could, play half decent rares alongside those, and I find it a bit more manageable, personally.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly, James. I think really you could opt to play in bronze, but I think you're going to find, like we said, it is just so much more competitive, and you're still going to be probably not finishing as high as you'd like. Whereas if you took all that, if you sold kind of your excess here, put that capital into 5 to 10 different strong rares, you could make 5 really nice silver lineups with 2 of those rares. You've got a Schlom's there, which is really nice. He's got the potential to really score as a 7-star. Tyler, Frank, Smolting, DCF, Crypto Leon, me. You can pair 2 medium, 4 or 5 star rares with some of these higher tiered commons you have. And I honestly would see that as 5 lineups that all cash in silver week in, week out for at minimum a card, if not, maybe 2 cards and even a small ETH reward. So yeah, little bit of a higher, price that you're gonna have to spend up for to get those rares, obviously. But I do think with what you have at the top end of your cards right there, you do have the makings for some really nice silver decks.
Yeah, I think the silver's the way to go, because I found myself taking some of the what I would consider my better cards, like the 6 and 7 star cards, and having to pair them in bronze with like complete bums that are getting 100, 200, and then I'm getting nothing out of it. So I'm kind of wasting my good cards,
Yep.
by pairing them with crappy cards. And so those 3 extra stars from 18 to 22 doesn't sound like a lot, but just the combinations I feel like open it up a little bit to maybe being a little bit more competitive.
And I would say as well, like, you can sometimes get caught up in the fact that it's a common. But I would say, see how that common there is like it's been charting around the 950s. So if you look at the score in the past 24 hours, so it's like between 800 to 1,000. And then you look at Frank, like you've got some great cards. Like, so if you look at this,
you really do, James.
but then see how that's 800 between. Okay, I don't know what happened there, but 6 to 800. So like obviously, so between 6 and 800. So let's call it 700 times 5. So that gets you a score of 3,500. If you go to fantasy sheets, so imagine you had 5 cards. It doesn't matter what rank they are. Imagine you were scoring 3,500. That would get you, in some weeks, 2 cards in Elite, 5 commons.
Wow,
It would
that's
get
crazy.
you.
Yeah, and I would never even think to put 5 commons into the the big match there.
Oh,
And that's
yeah.
the problem. That is what a lot of people don't realize.
Yep.
Is that if you looked at last week, Elite. I know, I can't remember which way around it was. I think it was Elite and Silver. Oh no, Gold and Silver were down in the amount of decks, and Elite and Bronze were up. But if you actually look at some of the past tournaments, if you look at this, so let's see. Why doesn't this work? Oh, it does.
It takes 10 years.
Okay, so if we go to the lowest, I think it's like page 25, 26, 27, 28.
There we go.
There you go. So if you look at some of these decks that are scoring 2 cards, you're going to see commons mixed in. They actually look
a lot of green on the screen there.
Yeah, some of these are actually kind of crazy, but you've got that one. You've got a Tyler. You've got other top cards, and people are playing these. Like, this one scored 200. Other ones. So if you were to use that 0.3 that we said you potentially could pull out of your pile of kind of incinerator cards and put it towards maybe a rare that scores in the 1200s constantly, and the one that always comes to mind for me is me. If you look at like a rare me, like that's a great one because you can use that one consistently, move it into Elite or down to Bronze. I like this one. Very versatile. You could pick up a rare one of that, maybe in a bid, 0.18.
Yeah, the beauty is the guy's consistent. He just posts every day in, day out.
Yep.
Yep.
Or even look at getting like a kind of high value. I do like the rares because you've got the chance of going over 1,000, so you can kind of top out over some of the other ones. But if you use that 0.3 to basically get yourself a few cards that are around the 900 scores.
Oh, Hugo Martingale would be a great pickup.
Yep.
He's rank 28.
I always feel like Gabriel Shapiro is pretty consistent as well for a kind of lower priced card. So there are some of these ones which you could. This was Silva's pick last week, which I picked up. ended up doing really
Hey,
well.
yeah, glad you liked it, mate.
Yeah, but like see this area, like the 30s to the 50s, like the ranks. Some of these guys, like DCF, quite consistent looking at. If you were to pick like a rare up of him, 0.13, you could again flip this up between elite, silver, as you wish, as the kind of weeks playing out. So yeah, that would kind of be my.
So when you guys are looking at the scrolling through the list like this, and you're kind of thinking about which ones you prefer over others, is consistency your most kind of targeted stat, if that's even a stat, versus you know, overall maximum that they might hit on a given week?
I mean, I do like I'll ignore people who I think are up here for 1 week and then down every other week. Like I know Mando. Like we used to burn Mandos for fun back in the day. Um, I mean, his price, look, it used to be 0.01. Like his tournament rank used to be terrible, but then because he was on the Rug
Yep.
Radio thing, flew up to 26. So I would ignore people who there's consistently say, and then there's like one hit wonders, right? So I would say consistent. If you for example get a rare NFT stats, probably isn't going to fly to the top, but is going to score for you most weeks, and that you could use those 5 stars in a great silver deck, or if they're doing something. That's why I love silver so much. Because then if they're scoring really high, if they're getting to like the 8th, 900s, plus, that's when you can start considering them in this realm and start looking, because you get so many more cards by hitting the lowest tier of elite compared to here, the lowest tiers of silver.
Right. Yeah, it's really interesting.
So yeah,
And I'm,
look at the score
I'm just
consistency more than the rarity.
And I just wanted to hop on another card you pointed out earlier, Ezrin. If you can hit the marketplace real quick and just look up Guru. Um, his
Oh yeah,
rare, sorry, their rare 0.05 could maybe catch it on a bid for 0.04.
yeah,
I mean, that's about as ubiquitous and and the most utility you can get out of a card. 0.05, 5 stars. We just said, they said they're back from the summer. They're locked in.
yeah,
I mean, I honestly, James, I think that's a great buy, and I might be looking to pick one up myself. So,
yeah. And then if you want to play more lines, pick up multiple of them and play 2 or 3 silver lines with the
yep.
rest of your cards. Maybe you'll have a me in there. Maybe you'll have some other of your, because you've got some high scoring comments. Like you're pretty much sorted in that respect. You probably need to hit the mid to lower tier stars to fit into the different categories. That's like kind of all you're missing there.
Yeah, I guess that's the catch 22, because you're not going to have consistency in the lower scoring ones, right? Like maybe you get the guy who gets shadow banned, or he's on vacation, or he's in Singapore for a couple of weeks, so he drops down to a 2 or 3, but then he's good for like a week, right? And then he's going to rocket back up to 6 and 7 stars. So I feel like it's hard to find those consistent, maybe 3 or 4 star guys to keep an eye on. But I guess that's why they're cheaper and
Yeah,
you rotate through them
I
a little
think
bit more.
I think that's when I move things from elite down to silver. I'll probably go out. I'll hope that I could play them in elite, or if they're like 5 or 4 stars, then you still don't have tons to play with in 22 stars. Like you need those mid to lower star players, like to pull off the 22 that you need to fill up a deck of silver. So I find them quite versatile, but then sometimes they might just over time get better. The algorithm changes. And if you've got the cards and you've been playing them where they kind of suited, then you can just find more uses for them. I think rares are easily the most flexible card for me, because you can then obviously play it straight
Agreed.
into gold as well. Like you get to pick as many rares as you want. So depending on what the week is, you can try and work out based on your deck and what's available in fantasy sheets. Like, because you've got some high star cards, so you might basically add up a bit of a score in your head, and then you'll put your let me pull your thing. No. Where did you? That's not you. Oh, here. Yeah,
Oh,
like
there we are.
yeah, you might use Tyler, Frank, Smolting. Maybe one week they'll drop down stars. Crypto Leon is another great one. DCF I think is overstarred now. I don't think that's very useful. But like Leon, Tyler, Frank, and Smolting, plus one other 1,000+ card if you could pick one up, which we've seen Schlums do, would easily score you in like gold elite. And depending on where their stars sit, you kind of fit them in where you want. And if you have one like full hero lineup, that's your kind of main line, and then you just fit the rest in around it.
A lot to think about. This has been it's been very helpful. I appreciate the time. And now the pressure's on. I got some work to do, so that maybe I can show you some good results in the next week or two.
For sure. No, you'll get it. Like for a bronze line for me, like Main, Damien, and Jen are perfect. If
Yep,
I was
agree.
you, I would pick up a Bandit before it's too late, and maybe a Guru. And between these 5 cards, because that's a great kind of add up to 18. You want these mid cards to be scoring well. You've got good cards. Like I think you just need to kind of cut some of the trunk and
Yeah.
fill out some leaves.
Yeah, decent cards. That's what they call it. User error is what they refer to that as. So I've got to just put them together better. That's the goal.
Well, yeah, as always, if you want to shout any questions in Fantasy Top Channel and MVHQ, then let us know.
Perfect. All right, let me get over to the marketplace. I'll start putting some bids and offers out there, and we'll reconvene. And good luck next week. I appreciate the time.
No worries. Cheers for coming up. Appreciate that.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you so much, James. Appreciate you
pleasure.
letting us give a look see at your portfolio there, and kind of just being open about it all. Yeah, any questions you have, any comparisons, or if you're looking between 2 or 3 heroes and need a suggestion, drop it in the Fantasy Top channel, and we're all there. We're all more than happy to try and work through it with you and help us all be successful here. Right? It's about all of us kind of winning together.
Yeah, the banter in the Discord is amazing. Sometimes there's almost too many messages for me to get through. After a day of work, but there's a lot of good alpha in there. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Well, Ezrin, we are just a hair over, 12 o'clock here. There's no hard limit on us, but want to be sensitive to everyone else. I know there's meetings and everyone probably has real world stuff to get to. So before we close it out here, any lasting questions? Anyone in the audience, anything you want us to take a look at, or just questions, comments, anything in general before we close up shop here?
That was a good
All
one
right.
today. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, same, man. Same. I loved kind of looking at how we did last week, where we can improve. Love the shouts we gave for next week's kind of top picks between Bandit, maybe Luca, a couple others in there, Guru. So yeah, excited to see how everyone fares in the coming week.
Definitely.
Yes,
no,
sir.
that's great. Well, look, make sure you let me know what you're going with, whether you buy up all the. I don't want to be bidding against you for all these, so do keep me informed.
That is a great shout. Well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna because I can't help myself. I just truly can't. And for anyone who's stayed here the entire time, um, I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna buy one more pack. My pack rewards
Oh
came
my
in.
god. This
I've
is
got the ETH
exciting.
in my wallet, so it needs to get out of here just as quick as it came in. Um,
This
I
is
believe
great.
because you bought 4 packs this morning, right, Ezra?
Yes, I did. One before
All
the
right,
heroes were actually released, but
that's right.
we'll talk about
I
that.
only bu- I, I only I'm gonna throw my hat in. I gotta stay on the same level as you, mate. Here we
Love
go.
this.
One extra pack for the fam here. Get a little bit more dopamine rushing through all of our veins.
Oh, before you finish that, do you remember that tactic we did last week?
Yes, yeah.
Unreal. So no, keep going. Cause sorry,
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
meaning to stop you. I was just more gonna mention it before you opened your
Yeah,
pack.
please. So
The one
anyone
that
who
we
was
all
here,
decided, yeah,
we bought a tactic live on air. How did that end up doing, Ezra?
30th. Pulled in
30th place.
$150. Yeah, it was a good one.
Let's go. $20 ticket. He ended up with $150. Congrats, dude. That's awesome.
That was good. So I'm hoping that you get the same thing from this live pack opening. You're gonna get the good luck.
Oh, daddy. Sure hope so. Right. Come on, show me the money. Let's end the stream on a positive note.
Oh, do you know they've
Okay.
changed all their pictures, right? So it's like difficult. Although
Uh-huh.
we like Sinus, we like. Show us that
We do.
swoosh. If you get a swoosh, oh,
Oh,
okay.
Alex. Oh, Palmer. Oh,
Oh,
come on. Oh, there's Guru.
yay! Well, yeah. There's Guru. Right, so Guru and
Yeah,
Sinus, I'd say decent. I would probably chuck the other three.
absolutely. Those two will definitely be usable in some lineups for sure.
Yeah, no new heroes, sadly.
No new ones. I'm sure they all got taken up by everyone else. But yeah, that is. I don't have enough ETH to buy another pack, so we'll have to wait for next week. Appreciate everyone showing up today. Appreciate Enormous James for coming up on stage and hanging out with us, and Ezra, appreciate you as always for just chopping it up here on stage with me.
No problem. I enjoy it. We would just be doing it here anyway, so it's nice to sort of
Right?
do it.
Whether
Right.
you folks show up or not, we're going to be here every week talking fantasy. So might as well come.
Exactly. Well, yeah, as always, let us know if you've got any questions in the Discord. Plenty of people to help out. And yeah, have a great week.
Yes, sir. Until next week, folks. Good luck with your lineups, and if you have any questions, drop them in there in the Fantasy Top Focus discussion. And we will see you all next Thursday.
Ciao.
Peace.